to visit GW Pharmaceuticals. They're a company that makes medicines from the actual marijuana plant. Now, although this is done with the express permission of the UK government, we did have to sign confidentiality agreements and cannot disclose exactly where we're going to be located. You see, marijuana is illegal in just about every part of this country, except for the secret labs that we're about to enter.
Wow, this is pretty spectacular. Are you used to the smell?
I'm not particularly partial to the smell, very much.
If you had smell-o-vision on your TV, you'd be overpowered by now. It's a lot of pot. This greenhouse is the size of a football field, and they have several more just like it throughout the United Kingdom. The lighting, temperature, humidity, all monitored by a top-secret central computer that keeps those conditions constant. And there are dozens of scientists regularly tending the plants. This is probably the most TLC for a weed I've ever heard of.
One would hope so, absolutely.
Dr. Jeffrey Guy, who runs GW Pharmaceuticals, says it has to be this way because they're trying to do something no other pharmaceutical company in the world is attempting, turning the actual marijuana plant into a prescription drug. When you look out at all of this, what comes to your mind?
I look at this and I think we can make generations of medicines over the next 25 or 30 years.
Medicines for illnesses like Alzheimer's, diabetes, PTSD, and epilepsy, and autoimmune diseases like multiple sclerosis and Crohn's. The key to making these medications is inside these simple-looking leaves, in understanding the hundreds of chemicals, some more therapeutic than others. Those are the cannabinoids.
In our preclinical research, we're able to say what each individual cannabinoid does, so that each one represents a potential new medicine for us. We can then breed into the plant the materials that will provide us with a range of beneficial effects.
Designer cannabis plants are then reduced to a whole plant extract, and that's crucial, according to the granddaddy of all marijuana research, Israel's Dr. Raphael Meshulam.
When they've tried to make drugs using certain compounds from marijuana, it's met with limited success. Why is it that when you take just certain compounds out of the marijuana and try and make a drug, it doesn't seem to work as well?
Well, one of the reasons possibly is because the THC works better when cannabidiol is there. So if you have both, it works better as a matter of...
Meshulam calls it the entourage effect, and that's what GW is doing. Every extract will have all the plant's chemicals in it. The extract is then packaged as an approved prescription spray. In order to increase the chances of getting that approval, every step, from growing to harvesting to manufacturing, is all carefully controlled, regulated, and rigorously tested to strict standards, so that every plant, every extract, every dose is identical, safe, and effective. It is an expensive and painstakingly slow process. It has taken hundreds of millions of dollars and a decade to develop their first drug, Sativex, for the unrelenting pain and spasms brought on by multiple sclerosis.
Is this a place that you walk?
As a neurosurgeon myself, I was curious just how well this medicine could work. Teresa Pointer was diagnosed with MS in February of 2004. For years, she struggled with pain and exhaustion. She tried just about everything, but found the drugs prescribed to her were either ineffective or had awful side effects. Then one day in 2005, she read in the newspaper about clinical trials for a marijuana-based medicine.
Have you ever tried cannabis? Then what were your thoughts on it?
No. I mean, ever since I was a little girl, my mum had always said to me, you know, don't do drugs, don't do drugs.
But nearly wheelchair-bound, Teresa was desperate. She tried it, a spray to the back of her throat several times a day, even once during our interview. Her pain and muscle spasms are now well controlled.
So just the relief to be able to have a couple of sprays before I go to bed and feel comfortable enough to just go to sleep.
The risk of side effects are pretty low.
Neurologist Dr. Eli Silber prescribes Sativex for some of his patients.
Some people do feel slightly dizzy and lightheaded, if you want to call it slightly stoned. Some people might feel slightly tired with it.
But according to GW studies, only 6% of patients stopped taking the drug because of the side effects. More than 50% did get relief and continued on the drug. All of that makes it a potentially powerful medicine for the 2.3 million MS sufferers worldwide. It's now available in 25 countries, but not the United States, where it's still under investigation.
Why so much more stringent in the United States?
I think there is a greater level of rigour at all levels of regulatory inquiry in the US.
Like any drug in the United States, cannabis would have to go through rigorous testing, research, and approval by the FDA. But after that, things start to get tricky. You see, marijuana also needs the approval of other governmental agencies, like the National Institutes of Health and the Drug Enforcement Administration. This is, of course, difficult, if not impossible. Why? Because in the United States, marijuana is illegal and classified by the government as a Schedule I controlled substance. That means it is considered to be among the most addictive drugs and is not recognized as having any medicinal benefit. And that's why what I'm about to tell you is so ironic.
The irony is that the federal government has patented one of the important chemicals in the plant.
The government of the United States has a patent on a substance for medicinal purposes at the same time that they say it has no medicinal purpose.
Exactly.
Mayo Clinic researcher Dr. Michael Bostwick is talking about United States patent number 6630507. It's held by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services for the exclusive use of cannabinoids for certain treatments.
I was stunned, and it really feels to me like sort of a dog in the manger, that the federal government is sitting on this wonderful thing, and not letting anybody else do anything with it.
And when we went to the government to ask about it, none of the agencies involved would comment.
We're being handcuffed by the government, preventing us from doing the right trials.
In fact, a 2013 search through the U.S. National Library of Medicine revealed 2,000 recent papers on marijuana, but the majority of them explored the harm. Only 6% investigated the benefits. Many believe that's the result of a draconian system gone awry, resulting in marijuana becoming one of the country's most controlled substances. And many people believe that has to change. But it was one of the experts calling for that change that surprised me the most, Dr. Nora Volkow. She's the director of the National Institute on Drug Abuse. That's the very agency that many say has blocked a good deal of cannabis research.
If the researchers feel that this is an impediment to them doing actually scientific work, this is something that should be addressed.
On the front lines of that battle, the son of a political dynasty. Coming up, how this anti-drug crusader is fighting to get cannabis drugs to patients like Vivian.
The Father's Favorites Essential Sale is on, right?